Hello and welcome to Tomorrow is Yesterday, the show where we review every episode of Star Trek in production order. My name is Brandon Couch, and with me, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ryan Couch, no relation to Brandon Couch or the other Ryan Couch. No, actually, I'm David Moss, long lost host slash co-host slash annoying guy.
I'm going to give Ryan some credit because before David got here, she 100% called that's exactly how David was going to introduce himself today.
Did she?
Yes, she did.
I guess I'm that predictable.
Yes, you are. But it's good to have you back.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't just leave me on
I could. I mean, I really could.
I'd edit it out.
Yeah.
Make it sound like you actually want to be here.
I want to be here. No, I do want to do the podcast. I do love doing the podcast. It's just scheduling and,
Yeah.
medical stuff and snow and the first episode that Ryan recorded. Yes, I did listen to all of them. It snowed over at my house, but you guys got no snow whatsoever. So I don't want to hear it. We got like 6 inches over there, and all the roads were closed.
We did give you a hard time about that because there was no snow on the ground.
Yeah.
To be fair, you're an Oklahoman. You should be capable of driving through snow.
There's capable or is my life and the 5-hour journey worth it?
I don't want to hear
record a podcast.
We got hit with a ton of snow the next week, and I'm a pizza delivery driver, and every other pizza delivery driver that night called in, so I was just driving all over this godforsaken town and on ice-covered roads, so I don't want to hear it.
I mean, when I worked at the casino, I got paid to go and pick people up at their homes and take them to the casino. So I mean, there was snow way over my vehicle, and I just kept going.
I'm just saying, I think I had it worse.
At that moment, yes. Because if it snows, my job is we're closed. And my son's school is we're closed. And my wife's work is we're not closed because it's a hospital, but they say don't make that drive. So we all stayed home, and I was like, do I really want to get out and make that trek? Couch is doing something.
Okay. So you ready to get into this episode?
Oh, I suppose. I did take notes from the 3 episodes Ryan did, and I have a lot.
Would you like to just spill those out right now?
Okay, so the Funko Pop that's in your closet, the Star Wars one, I gave you.
Yes, you did.
I don't remember why, but I think it might have been a birthday present. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes. And I'm sad that's in your closet.
I just don't have a place to put it right now.
It can go on a wall. I mean, you got a space right there next to your Star Wars.
I'm not going to put it in my living room wall.
Why not?
Because this is not just my living room, David.
Yeah.
The fact that I have a Star Wars thing and a Star Trek thing on these walls is victory enough.
And your Hot Wheels.
And my Hot Wheels collection. And that one I actually had to fight for.
I could see that. Yeah. Okay. That's all the notes I'm thinking of right now.
Oh, yeah? That's it? That's your only note?
At this time.
Okay. The Menagerie Part 1 first aired on November 17th, 1966, won the 1967 Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, was written by Gene Roddenberry and directed by Mark Daniels, who last week directed Court Martial.
I do have another note that I do agree with Ryan, that you do talk really fast and go into the depth of the episode, and then we're just sitting here oh, when are we able to talk?
Did you miss the part where I said I literally put places in my notes now that where I write "Let David talk"? Because I said that.
Yeah, but they're not at places that I want to talk. I'm joking.
You don't know that. You haven't even been here for when that's in my notes.
So I want to call this The Cage Part 2 and the next episode The Cage Part 3. Yeah. Any thoughts?
No, we're not calling it that.
Yep. That's what I'm calling it. I'm going to make a shirt that says The Cage Part 2 where Starfleet learns that Spock can take over the place.
Remember that episode of Strange New Worlds
Nope,
where
I don't.
Spock was trying to hijack the Enterprise, but he was really bad at it? So the engineer lady had to like tell him, "Okay, here's how you actually hijack a ship." It was the first episode of season 2. Like this episode remembered that because like now Spock's good at hijacking a ship.
Yeah.
He's learned.
And I mean, really, he could have hijacked the space station too. Or the planetary
It's a starbase.
colony. I thought it was a colony.
It's a starbase.
Are you sure? Because
I'm 100% sure. It's literally called Starbase 11.
Because there was a shot of it, and they were on a planet.
It's a starbase. It's literally called Starbase 11. They only refer to it as a starbase.
Okay.
It's the same dang starbase they went to last week. And I'm gonna get into some of that.
Yeah, I didn't watch last week's.
You wouldn't like it. It's a courtroom drama.
I mean, yeah.
Wait a second. Last week's the one where Ryan mentioned the Funko Pops. So you did listen to last week's.
I listened. I didn't watch.
We don't have video, David.
I didn't watch
the
the
episode.
episode.
That's just lazy.
All I watched was about the space nut. Or all I heard. And I just couldn't get that out of
I'm glad, David. I'm glad. I'm glad that's what you remember of the Galileo 7, because that's what Ryan remembers of the Galileo 7 at this point.
I didn't watch it either. Like, just Ryan brought that up so many times that I was like,
That's what I get for showing her the original and not the remastered. All right, let's get into the cast. We have Jeffrey Hunter as Captain Christopher Pike, but only in archived footage. Susan Oliver as Vina, also only in archived footage. Malaki Throne as Commodore Jose I. Mendez, who we last heard in The Cage as the voice of the Keeper.
dun, dun, dun. I wasn't listening, so I...
All right, so we have M. Lee Hudick as number 1 in archived footage, who we last saw in What Are Little Girls Made Of as Nurse Chapel, and who we last heard in Court Martial as the computer.
I was going to say, I do have to agree with Ryan that it's really weird that her voice is very technical sounding.
Robotic.
Robotic, there you go. And in Next Gen and so on, it's very human-like.
I just think that's an indication of like the advancement of technology at that point.
Yeah, but even now, we have better voice, like computer voices. And I mean,
it was the 60s.
I mean, even 60s they had somewhat better. No,
I don't think they did.
They didn't. That's
people are probably yelling into their phones right now that Majel Barrett played number 1 in Chapel. And they would be correct. Majel Barrett used her birth name for this episode because she didn't want the executives realizing that after being fired as number 1, she dyed her hair blonde and came back as Chapel. In reality, they knew the entire time. They just let her get away with it because she was sleeping with the creator of the show. But yeah, she thought she got away with something for like 3 years, but she didn't.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, we have Peter Doria as Jose Tyler in archived footage. John Hoyt as Dr. Philip Boyce, also in archived footage. Adam Rourke as Garrison, also in archived footage. DeForest Kelly as Dr. Leonard McCoy, who we last saw in Court Martial. James Doohan as Lieutenant Commander Scott, who we last saw in the Galileo 7. Nichelle Nichols as Lieutenant Uhura, who we last saw in Court Martial. Sean Kenny as Fleet Captain Christopher Pike. Hagen Beggs as Lieutenant Hansen. I'm pretty sure he's a lieutenant. In my notes, I put a question mark after lieutenant because I wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is a lieutenant. I'm positive now. Who we last saw in Court Martial. And Julie Parrish as Miss Piper. We open with a shot of the Enterprise, then cut to outside of Starbase 11. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy beam down. Miss Piper is there waiting for them. Piper welcomes them to the Starbase and tells them that the Commodore is waiting for them and wants to know why you're here. Kirk says they got a message telling them to come immediately, and Piper tells him that no one sent a message.
And I know who sent the message, which was never actually said in the episode.
There was no message, David.
I mean, the Enterprise got a message.
No, they didn't. Spock just said they did.
Oh, yeah. Never
Spock's a dirty liar in this one.
Yeah.
Although apparently Vulcans never lie.
That is a dirty lie. Vulcans always lie.
All right. Starbase 11 is where last week's episode took place.
So what'd they do? Just turn around and come back?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, didn't they know Pike was already there?
So here's what they did, like, in the airing of the episodes. They split them up quite a bit, and they made this one go first, so it seems like Court Martial is the lazy episode, but it's not. All right, cut to Commodore Mendez's office. Mendez is like, Jim, I don't understand this. Kirk says, Mr. Spock received a transmission from the starbase, a message from the former commander of the Enterprise, Fleet Captain Pike, urgently requesting that we divert here. Mendez says, that's impossible. Kirk's like, if Spock says he got a message, then... But Mendez cuts him off, saying he's not doubting Spock, it's just impossible. Kirk asks why, and Mendez says, you don't know. You actually don't know what's happened to Captain Pike. There's been subspace chatter about it for months. I'm sorry to have to be the one to show you. He's upstairs in the medical section. What happened to Commodore Stone?
I don't know.
Because there was a different Commodore there last week. They should have just rehired the same actor.
Maybe they fired him.
I doubt that. They just probably didn't think about that because it's Star Trek in the 60s. It was very episodic, and they didn't continue storylines very often.
Yeah.
Also, they hired the actor who voiced the main alien in the cage. So, like, I kind of like that they did that. All right, cut to a sign in a hallway that reads, Quiet, Intensive Care Area. They walk past the sign, and Mendez asks Kirk if he ever met Pike. Kirk says, we met when he was promoted to Fleet Captain.
That's a lie.
No, it's not, and I'll get to that. Just give me a minute. All right, actually, you know what? Let's talk about it now.
Yeah, isn't he a fleet captain in Enterprise? I mean, not Enterprise. In Strange New Worlds?
Yeah. So when I heard that line, I also thought, wait, that's not right. But then, yeah, I'm just going to read what I wrote down. When I first heard that line, I thought, wait a second, Kirk and Pike have met in Strange New Worlds, and Pike's not a fleet captain yet. But then later it dawned on me. There was an episode where Pike was temporarily promoted to fleet captain for just one episode, and that's when he and Kirk met. And that's genius. Like, they managed to, like, have Kirk and Pike meet, but not break canon. Like, that's awesome.
Someone actually looked back and watched the movies, or not movies, TV shows?
Yes.
That's impressive.
Mendez describes Pike as a big, handsome, active man. Kirk says he replaced him on the Enterprise, and Spock served with him for a year. Spock jumps in 11 years, 4 months, 5 days.
It's a long time.
But who's counting?
Apparently Spock.
Spock is counting. McCoy asks what happened to him, and Mendez says, inspection tour of a cadet vessel, old Class J starship. One of the baffle plates ruptured, and McCoy says, Delta rays. And Mendez says, he went in, bringing out all those kids that were still alive. Just wanted you gentlemen to be prepared.
So, to prepare for this episode, I watched The Cage, this episode, the next episode. I watched the episode where Spock and Michael Burnham on Discovery go to Talos 4. And I watched the episode where Pike learns about this future right here at the Klingon monastery, I think it was.
That's a lot of prep work.
It was. And
I did none of that.
And it's probably going to be the very last time I do it. Like, I watched Star Trek for a full day on Discovery. I was so lost because I was like, wait, how did Hugh die? I forgot about that.
The guy who was also somehow a Klingon snapped his neck.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yes.
So then it made me like, I ended up watching that entire season of Discovery again because I was very lost because I'd seen it twice already, but like Discovery is not any of my top Star Trek.
At least it wasn't a season 1 you were rewatching.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's gotten better. Discovery's like actually good now.
I mean, Discovery's okay. It's okay. I mean, like, I'm not like, it's good. It's Star Trek.
It got a lot better when it went to the future.
I mean, it's Star Trek and it's good. But like, I wouldn't rank it with my favorites.
Well, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying it's gotten better.
Yeah.
I feel like it still gets a lot of hate, but like it's gotten a lot better.
Like, I'm not one of those haters that are like, oh, Discovery is not Star Trek. And
No, you just say that about the movies.
no, the 2009
I have
movies,
a recorded audio of you
Yes.
saying that thing.
yes, they are not good Star Trek.
That's
They
not
are
true.
They are good sci-fi movies.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, they're good movies, and they have Star Trek in the title. That makes them good Star Trek, David. You can't
No.
just say it's a good movie and not good Star Trek.
Nope.
That's toxic fandom at its like base.
No.
Yes.
No.
You're full of crap.
They're a completely different thing.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
You're full of crap, and we've already had this argument plenty of times. So let's move on.
Did you miss this? The last 3 episodes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like when me and Ryan argue on a podcast, we turn off the mics, and she's still here. When we turn off the mics, you leave.
We just don't make eye contact. I just leave. It's like, okay, I'm leaving.
Okay, so I got a couple notes on this scene. If I did the math right on what Spock says, that means that we should have about another 5 years of Strange New Worlds.
Let's do it.
All right, that's the only note I had on that apparently, because my other note was about the fleet captain thing.
Well, what? So 5 years of Strange New Worlds.
Past what we've already seen. So 5 more years of Strange New Worlds.
So that put them in season 6.
7.
7 seasons. I mean, that's
Because we've already had 2.
besides Enterprise, Discovery, and the original series. I mean, that's the golden number there. 7 seasons.
Yeah, remember when they were all 7 seasons and they had like 20-something episodes a season?
Yeah, I remember.
All right, they walk into Pike's room. Pike is in this big black Professor X in the 90s type of chair. He turns around, his face is completely deformed. Mendez says, "Captain, you remember these gentlemen. They wanted to visit you." The chair lights up and beeps twice. Mendez explained that means no. And from here, I'm just going to say Pike says yes or Pike says no. I'm not going to do the whole beeping light thing because we're going to show some respect for Pike here.
Later on, I do have something to say about the beeping light.
Okay.
And you probably know where I'm going to say it at.
I don't, but I'll take the surprise.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then Mendez says, "I thought you might make an exception for them." Pike says, "No. I'm sorry, gentlemen." Kirk says, "If there's anything I can do for you." Pike says, "No." Spock asks, "Captain, may I remain for a moment?" Pike says, "Yes." Once everyone leaves, Spock says, "You know why I've come, Captain. It's only 6 days away at maximum warp. I have it well planned." Pike says, "No. I have never disobeyed your orders before, Captain, but this time I must." Pike says, "No. I know it's treachery and it's mutiny, but I must do this." Pike says, "No. I have no choice." Pike says, "No." And that's our teaser.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say about the teaser.
Okay. One thing I will say, and it's not just about the teaser, but this episode in general. Now that we have Strange New Worlds, it makes this episode more entertaining because, like, you think about it from the perspective of like, Pike and Spock serving so long on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. You know, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, actually a lot of bit, and say that, Kirk's kind of upset that Spock has done this. But to me, it kind of shows loyalty, too.
Yeah. Like, Kirk's going to do the exact same thing for Spock.
Yeah.
In the movies.
Yeah. In the actual Star Trek movies.
Shut up. All right. Shot of the Enterprise, shot of Starbase 11, cut to Mendez's office. Kirk once again explaining to Mendez that Spock got a message and put it in his log, and that's all the proof Kirk needs. Mendez points out that there's no record of a message sent from the Starbase and no record of a message received on the Enterprise. Kirk says that someone changed the records, and then Kirk says, a computer expert can change records, record tapes, duplicate voices, say anything, say nothing. Mendez responds, the fact remains that your first officer's former captain is hospitalized, horribly injured at this base, and that same first officer seems to be the only one who has heard that message ordering you here. Kirk says if Spock wanted to see Pike so bad he could have just asked to leave, I would have let him. Mendez is like, well, that's true. And Kirk says, who'd want to divert us here? There's no trouble in the space sector we're patrolling now. No alien problems. I don't know why, but that line just felt weird.
Yeah.
No alien problems.
I mean, technically, it is an alien problem to them because
Spock's the alien problem. I also like how Kirk just foreshadows everything that Spock does in this. A computer expert can change things, say anything, duplicate voices.
Spock's the computer expert,
as we established last week.
Yeah.
Then Mendez calls Chief Humboldt at the computer center. Have you rechecked all the record tapes on the date in question? Yes, sir. Is there any way that at all a message could have been sent from here without us knowing it? Negative, Commodore. We've checked and double-checked everything possible. All right, start checking the impossible. Mendez out.
So, this isn't about this part, but it's about what's already happened in this episode and what's going to happen in the future of this episode. But did you notice that Scotty isn't left in command of the Enterprise at all this episode?
Yeah, I feel like at this point we haven't established that Scotty's the second officer.
Yeah, we have. A few episodes ago, whenever I was doing it, Scotty was left in charge when Kirk and Spock had to go when they were on the little kids' planet.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even in that episode.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Now you're going to make me go back and listen to every single one of our podcasts.
The communications officer, Farrell, was left in charge in that episode. I remember that episode. That episode was really bad.
Maybe. No, because I didn't.
Because I kept making jokes about why isn't Uhura the communications officer in this?
Because I didn't do that episode.
Well, then it's a different episode.
Yeah, it was a different episode, but Scotty was left in charge.
I'm trying to think of... Let's see, last episode it was Dagger of the Mind, but Spock was left in charge. Before that was... Okay, before that was The Conscience of the King, but no one was left in charge because it basically...
So, instead of
Wait,
us...
no, before that was What Are Little Girls Made Of?
Instead of us trying to figure this out, because we can spend 20 minutes doing this, I'm going to ask our listeners to go back and figure it out if I'm right or if Couch is right.
I just looked through every one of those episodes and there was no episode where Scotty was left in charge.
Yeah, there's one.
It has not been... No, there's not.
Yeah.
Do you want me to list off every episode?
No.
Because I'll do it. I'm looking at the list right now.
No. It was probably the cage. I know.
The only person who was there was Spock. Yeah, there's no episodes where they left the ship and Scotty would have been left in charge. It hasn't been established yet.
Maybe it was that one of Bailey.
They never left the ship in that one.
Yeah, they did. To go see Baylock.
Yeah, but they didn't leave anyone in charge. They just went to see Baylock.
Whatever. Anyway, back to the episode.
I spend too much time with these episodes to not know stuff like that, David. I spend too much time on these. Okay, picking up where we left off, Humboldt is sitting in the computer center. He gets up to go check something when Spock sneaks in. He crushes behind some computers, sneaks up on a red shirt and gives him the old Vulcan neck pinch, then opens up a computer and starts messing with it.
Did you know that Spock actually created the Vulcan neck pinch? Like Leonard Nimoy did?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I said that in a previous episode.
They wanted him to do a karate chop, and he's like, Vulcans wouldn't do that.
Yes, David, I'm pretty sure I told you this in a previous episode.
And what is it, season 2, where he uses it almost every episode? He's just
Maybe.
walking down the halls, just Vulcan neck pinch, Vulcan neck.
The episode in question was The Enemy Within.
What? There was one episode, like, we haven't gotten to it yet. But, like, I remember watching it, like, a long time ago. The one time I watched all the original series. And, like, Spock was just walking down the hallway, just Vulcan neck pinching everybody. And I was like, that is a way too powerful move.
Spock is OP.
Yeah.
All right, back in Mendez's office, Mendez introduces Kirk to Miss Piper, the woman Kirk met at the beginning of the teaser. Piper says they have a mutual friend, Lieutenant Helen Johansson, and Kirk gets really nervous for a second before Piper says, she just said she knew you. She didn't give me any of the dirt. That's some Gene Roddenberry writing right there.
Yeah.
All right, Mendez asked for her report, and she says that they didn't turn up much. There is, of course, Mr. Spock's years of service with Captain Pike, indications of his extreme loyalty to his former commander. Kirk snaps, a Vulcan can no sooner be disloyal than he can exist without breathing. That goes for his present commander as well as his past. So are Vulcans just like dogs? They're just super loyal?
Apparently. I mean, T'Pol was pretty loyal to Archer.
She was eventually.
Yeah. And, I mean, Tuvok was pretty loyal to
Janeway, yeah.
Janeway.
Sarek's not loyal to anybody.
No.
Sarek's like, I'm out for me. Okay, maybe Burnham.
Or his wives.
Wives, plural.
I mean, because humans die.
Yeah. I know why he has a second wife. Although I thought it was kind of lazy that he just got a second human wife. They should have given him like a Vulcan wife in the next generation.
An Andorian.
I don't know about that. Because next generation like stayed as far away from Andorians as possible because they looked dumb back then.
Yeah, I noticed that. There was no Andorians like in Next Gen, Voyager, or Deep Space Nine, really.
In Next Gen there was one, but it was just a hologram for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Enterprise is what made Andorians cool again.
Yeah.
Or, let's be honest, cool in the first place.
Yeah.
Piper says that they have to consider every possibility. Pike couldn't have sent that message. He's under constant observation. Mendez adds that he's completely unable to move and explains that the chair responds to his brainwaves. He can turn it, move it forwards, move it backwards, but that's about it. Piper says he can answer yes or no with the light, and Mendez says, but that's it, Jim. That's as much as that poor devil can do. His mind is as active as yours or mine, but it's trapped inside a useless vegetating body. He's kept alive mechanically, a battery-driven heart. And Kirk realizes that Pike couldn't have even asked somebody to send that message.
So are they on the camera watching him?
Yes, there is like a screen with the camera on him in the room.
And it's just the point where they think that he just keeps saying no?
Not yet. That comes later. Cut back to the computer center. Spock's still messing with the computer. We hear it saying Starbase Operations real slow, like Starbase Operations. And then it gets really fast, like Starbase Operations, Starbase Operations, Starbase. And then it gets just right. And so Spock uses the computer to hail the Enterprise. Cut to the bridge where Hansen is in command for some reason. The Enterprise is getting new orders to be fed directly into the computer. Hansen has a Uhura request confirmation. But back in the computer center, Humboldt catches Spock. This is a security area. What are you doing here? I have security clearance, Chief.
So do you think Hansen is related to Seven of Nine? Like a grandparent or something?
No.
You don't think so?
But it's a fun theory. I think their names might be spelled differently.
I don't know how hers is spelled.
I'll look it up later.
Okay.
But yeah, Spock says he has security clearance. Bullcrap. The guy doesn't actually say bullcrap, but he might as well. He tries to stop Spock. Spock pushes him away. Then Humboldt pushes Spock away. Then he says, "What are these tapes?" And then Spock pushes him away again. This whole time her is just trying to get an answer to her hails. Humboldt then starts punching Spock in the face with practically no effect until Spock neck pinches him. So she's like, bam, 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 neck pinch, and he's down.
It's the Spock neck pinch.
At this point, yeah, because Spock's the only Vulcan we've had.
Vulcanian.
Ugh. The fact that last week they kept saying Vulcanian just drove the ever-loving crap out of me.
I know.
I was irritated.
I could hear it on the podcast episode.
Because, yeah, like, I used to just chalk that up to, like, oh, it's just Mud saying Vulcanian. He's just pronouncing it wrong. But then Kirk, Spock, and the computer all say it in one episode. I feel like last week's writer was kind of lazy. He also didn't know what Spock's rank was.
Isn't the writer of most of the Star Trek episodes a woman?
No. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about DC Fontana.
Yeah.
But so far, she hasn't written any episodes yet. I think she becomes like a bigger presence in season 2.
Which is when it actually starts becoming good.
Well, season 1 is pretty good, but like season 2 is like when they're like peak original series.
Yeah. And Chekhov comes in the picture.
Yeah. But yeah, I think DC Fontana comes in season 2.
Where's Sulu?
In this episode, not around.
Huh. Because I just realized that. I'm like, Sulu's missing.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, let's see. All right, Spock puts a tape in and Kirk's voice gives her a confirmation. Hansen then asks how he's supposed to fly the ship if he doesn't know where he's going. Spock puts in another tape and Kirk's voice says, Spock will answer all the questions, and Spock says, ship's computers will handle the helm on this voyage, Mr. Hansen. Course will be computed and set automatically. You will not discuss this with ship's crew or starbase personnel. Do you read? Hansen says okay, and Spock says they'll warp out in 1 hour. Kirk's in his room watching Pike on a screen, repeatedly saying no. This is what you were talking about.
Yes. Okay. So he just beeps, beep, 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 beep. How do they know he's saying no?
I think he's beeping twice, then pausing, then beeping twice, then pausing.
Because whenever I watched it, it was just like this. Beep, 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 beep.
Don't ask too many
beep,
questions, David.
beep.
It was the 60s.
I'm like, how do you know he's saying no and not saying yes, yes, yes,
because
yes, yes.
Kirk's saying he's saying no. That's how you know it.
I think he was saying yes. Yes, 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 yes. I am never going to do that again.
I'm going to clip that part out. Yes, 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 yes.
No, you should. I don't know. Do an audio file or something.
It's a podcast. This is all audio files.
Well, okay.
All right. Bones walks in and Kirk's like, what is he saying no to? Bones says Pike's almost agitated himself into a coma after trying to question him. Kirk asks how long will he live, and Bones says, as long as any of us. Blast medicine anyway. We've learned to tie into every human organ in the body except one, the brain. The brain is what life is all about. Now that man can think any thought that we can, and love, hope, dream as much as we can, but he can't reach out, and no one can reach in. Kirk says again, he keeps blinking no, and Bones is like, no to what? They could question him for days before they find the right question.
I thought they said weeks. We could question him for weeks.
Well, I think he says like days, weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Bones, could this have anything to do with Spock? I don't read you at all, Jim. What I mean is, either a message was received. It was one of two things. Either someone sent a message diverting us here, or someone on board the ship lied about receiving it. Could that someone be Mr. Spock? Which kicks off this great argument. Jim, forgetting how well we both know Spock, the simple fact that he's a Vulcan means he's incapable of telling a lie. Bull. And that's my response, not what Kirk says.
Vulcans lie all the time.
What Kirk actually says is, He is also half human, and that half is completely submerged. To become acting like us or even thinking like us would completely embarrass him. Someone is interfering with the command of my ship. I don't know who it is, but I mean to find out. Even you, if I thought you had the technical know-how, I'd suspect you, but you don't. Spock does. He would not make a false entry. There's a false entry in the log right now which doesn't jibe with the established facts. How do you explain that? I can't, but to question Spock of all people, me, yes, I could run off half-cocked given a good reason. So could you, but not Spock. It's impossible. Bones gets a call to report to the transporter. He asks why. Apparently, there's a medical emergency on the Enterprise. Bones asks for more details, but there's nothing. He tells Kirk it's probably a hangnail and leaves. All right, now I got some notes on the scene. One, Bones would pee his pants if he ever saw Stephen Hawking.
Why?
Because he's talking about how we can't connect with the brain. You know how Pike's just using a flashing light, and Stephen Hawking they connect to his brains and he can say words and actually reach out.
I can't believe you're talking about Stephen Hawking.
Why?
That's a big no-no right now.
Okay, he's dead. I'm talking about the science and how it relates to Pike's beeping chair.
Okay.
Also, Kirk saying that Bones doesn't have the technical know-how. What technical know-how? He didn't fabricate a fake message. He just said he got a message and put that in his log. There's no technical know-how required for that.
I mean, there might be more to it than we know.
I don't think so. I think Spock just said, First Officer's log. I got a message from Starbase 11 saying that they needed us there.
Well, that's falsifying records.
Yes, it is. And that's exactly what Spock did.
I mean, that's still wrong.
I don't think that requires technical know-how, though. I'm just saying. I think Bones would have the technical know-how to do that. He'd say, medical officer's log. We got a message from Starbase 11. All right. Cut to a red file on Mendez's desk that says, Talos 4, top secret, for eyes of Starfleet Command only. Mendez orders Kirk to read it and asks what Kirk knows about Talos 4. Kirk says, whatever his ship captain knows, General Order 7, no vessel under any condition, emergency or otherwise, is to visit Talos 4. Mendez says that it's the only death penalty Starfleet has, but even this file doesn't explain why. Mendez waves this little gadget over it and it unlocks the file. But Mendez says it does name the only ship that ever went there. Kirk reads and sees that it was the Enterprise under Pike's command, and Mendez adds, with a half-Vulcan science officer.
So you're telling me this wonderful utopian society will kill you if you visit a planet?
See, I don't feel like this was as wonderful a utopian society at this point. I don't feel like it's till Next Generation that Gene Roddenberry's drinking his own Kool-Aid and making everything like utopia, no money, no problems. Right. I think this is just the future with all the problems we have.
But still, even now, I don't think people would be like, stop. People would be like, don't visit that planet or you'll get the death sentence.
This was also my only note for this scene. I don't like that Starfleet has a death penalty.
But just for that, that's the only death penalty they have.
It's the only one.
You can murder people, steal,
people don't murder people now.
You can falsify records and no death penalty. But if you visit this planet, so would they have put Michael Burnham under to death for visiting Talos 4?
Yeah, and Spock, if they actually knew about it. They didn't know about it.
I mean, Pike knew about it, but...
Yeah, but Pike didn't turn him in.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
You ever notice that, Spock just keeps wanting to go back to Talos 4? He went there in the cage, and then he goes back in Discovery, and then he goes back now. He's the one who keeps, taking people to Talos 4.
I think that he probably would have died on Talos 4 if he wouldn't have went to the crappy Star Trek movies timeline.
Shut up. Those movies were good, and you know it. You're full of crap.
They were good sci-fi movies, but bad Star Trek.
Okay, that's not how that works. You can't just... That's not how life works. Were they good movies? Yes. Were they Star Trek movies? Yes. That means they were good Star Trek movies. I don't care if they weren't Next Generation. I don't care if they weren't freaking Next Generation talking about does Data deserve rights. They were good movies. And they were Star Trek movies. They were good Star Trek movies.
You know, I'm just taking you on, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now you're angry. You're like, ah.
I'm mostly angry because we're going to have to cut out all these curse words.
Yeah.
All right. Where was? Okay. Piper, who this whole time has been watching Pike on a screen, sees him vanish all of a sudden. Mendez answers a call. We hear a voice say, "Starship Enterprise, Commodore. It's warping out of orbit. Refuses to acknowledge our signal." And that is the end of Act 1.
That was only Act 1?
Yes.
Holy crap. That was an hour.
Act 2 opens with a shot of the Enterprise, and we cut to the bridge. Hansen, sitting back at the helm, says, "It's weird flying the ship with no navigator." Spock sternly responds that the Enterprise knows where she's going. Uhura says there's someone trying to hail them, but Spock orders to maintain radio silence, then turns on the ship's intercom saying, "This is First Officer Spock. Per Starfleet orders this date, I have been placed in temporary command of the Enterprise." McCoy walks in at this point. Spock continues, "While our destination is secret, our mission is relatively simple. Starbase Command has assigned Captain Kirk medical rest leave until our return. His instructions are that you will obey my orders as you would his. First Officer out." Once Spock is finished, McCoy's about to go off. "What's going on? Who said Jim needed rest leave? No one here made that call saying I was needed." Spock says, "Doctor, I regret they elected to keep certain things from you. Will you come with me, please?"
I think McCoy handled that very well for McCoy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he would have, like, attacked Spock at one point.
McCoy's probably just very confused right now.
Yeah.
Because he's still on the, like, Spock's not going to lie.
He's like, this is not a hangnail.
This is not a hangnail. Spock and McCoy walk into a room. I can't tell what room this is. But McCoy sees Pike and wants to know what's going on. He asks the captain if he's okay and points out that Pike is still repeatedly saying no. Spock plays a tape for McCoy, and with Kirk voice, the computer says, "Kirk to McCoy, I'm recording you this message, Bones, so there'll be no misunderstanding. I'm sorry to have to make it in order. You are not to disturb Captain Pike with any questions. Simply take good care of him. Follow Spock's instructions to the letter. Kirk out." And Pike is still saying no.
No. Or is he saying yes?
He's saying no. Because that's what the show is telling us he's saying. Alright, Spock enters the bridge and Hansen reports a shuttlecraft following them. He's about to turn around when Spock orders him to take no action. Hansen's like, "But they won't be able to catch us." And Spock's like, "Yeah, don't make contact." We get a shot of the Enterprise, followed by a shot of the shuttlecraft. Inside, Mendez is trying to hail the Enterprise. Kirk says that Spock's definitely headed for Talos 4. Mendez says that they have just enough fuel to turn around to make it back to Starbase 11. Then Kirk starts trying to hail the Enterprise. We see Spock seemingly alone on the bridge. He has the computer measure the object following them. The computer says it's a Class F shuttlecraft, duranium metal shell, ion engine power. I perfected my computer voice last week. Then Spock asks how long until it's forced to turn back, and the computer says it's already past the point of a safe return. Back on the shuttlecraft, they're out of fuel and coasting. Kirk tells Mendez that he had no right to come along. Mendez says rank has its privileges. Kirk points out that they only have 2 hours of oxygen left, then says, "Part of me is hoping that the Enterprise won't come back for us." We step on that deck. Spock is finished. Court-martialed. Disgraced. Mendez responds, "He's dead if he takes it to Talos 4. Why would he want to go there? The command report stated that Talos contained absolutely no practical benefit to mankind." Kirk says Spock would have a logical reason, and Mendez says, or maybe he's just gone mad.
Spock hasn't gone mad. Did you notice that at the beginning of the shuttlecraft scenes, Mendez is like pretty much like staring over Kirk's shoulder on the one monitor? Like Kirk's over here driving it, and then Mendez is like standing, doing the Riker stand, and he's like, "Are you doing it? Are you driving?"
I did notice that.
And then the next shot is he's actually in the other chair and actually doing something on the. I just thought that was funny. I was like, Really? You're just doing that? Come on now.
Hey. Okay. Back on the bridge, McCoy is saying, I keep wondering who might be after us in a shuttlecraft, and I keep coming up with the same answers. But I can't be right, can I, Mr. Spock? Spock has the computer lock onto the shuttle. Then McCoy straight up asks if it's the captain. Hansen says the Enterprise brought itself to a dead stop. Spock goes over the intercom. This is the first officer speaking. Security, send an armed team to the bridge. Transporter room, stand by to beam Captain Kirk aboard. Effective until then, Lieutenant Hansen is in operational command. Hansen's confused. Spock then goes to McCoy saying, as the senior officer, I give myself up for arrest. If Bones is the senior officer, why wasn't he put in operational command? Maybe it's because he's a doctor.
I think he was a senior officer on the bridge. He was below Spock, but if Spock is...
But Spock put Hansen in command. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what?
Oh, because Bones probably doesn't have any command. Like, whenever Next Generation, when Troy had to command the Enterprise, and she pretty much left it up to Miles O'Brien, because she didn't know how to do it, but she was still technically the senior officer.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
It's because McCoy's a doctor. He only knows doctor things.
Yep.
Okay,
He's a doctor, not an engineer.
I'm a doctor, not a commander. Alright, yeah, so Spock gives himself up for arrest. McCoy's like, what? And Spock goes, the charge is mutiny. I never had orders to take command. Security shows up and McCoy says, Mr. Spock is, under arrest. Is confinement to quarters enough? Spock says, adequate, doctor. I'll make no trouble. Cut to the transporter room. Scotty beams Kirk and Mendez aboard. Hansen officially gives Kirk command. Kirk asks where Spock is. Hansen says he's confined to quarters, and Mendez is like, that's it? Uhura calls Kirk saying the engines are coming back on. Kirk says to hold this position, and Hansen tells them that there's no one flying the ship. Spock has the computers running the show. Kirk tells Uhura to disengage the computer. Uhura says she can't. The helm won't respond. Kirk tries to go straight to the computer and disengage, but the computers won't respond. I like how when Uhura says the helm won't respond, Scotty walks away grumbling like, I gotta fix it. Yeah, like she's like, the helm won't respond, and Scotty just like, and walks away.
Do you know when they left the starbase to Talos 4, all the stuff that happens there takes place within 6 days? Or 6 to 7 days. Because it's 6 days maximum warp.
I guess Spock said, 6 days maximum warp.
And I don't know if they were going maximum warp or not. So, so it looks like it was just like an hour-ish of stuff, 2 hours worth of stuff going on there.
2 hours because it's a 2-part episode.
Well, But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's actually like 6 to 7 days worth of stuff.
Yep, I guess. In Spock's quarters, he's watching all of this go on. Kirk on Spock's screen says, this is the captain on voice command. You will override all contrary instructions. Voice command, disengage from helm. Unable to comply, any such attempt will cross-circuit vessel's life-supporting system. Computer control cannot be disengaged until vessel reaches planet Talos 4. Spock switches off the screen, and that is the end of Act 2.
I'm going to quote you here.
Okay.
Where was the camera at on the bridge?
After last week's episode where we saw so in last week's episode we saw a camera watching everything Kirk was doing in the trial. So at this point I'm just gonna buy that there's cameras out everywhere.
Okay.
I'm done arguing about it.
Okay.
Clearly McCoy's not good at arresting people. Spock shouldn't be able to turn on the screen and just watch Kirk in the transporter room.
I mean, he's not a commander. He's a doctor.
And he's not good at arresting people.
Captain's log, stardate 3012.4. Despite our best efforts to disengage computers, the Enterprise is still locked on a heading for the mysterious planet Talos 4. Meanwhile, as required by Starfleet General Orders, a preliminary hearing on Lieutenant Commander Spock is being convened. And in all the years of my service, this is the most painful moment I've ever faced.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Do what?
So I was gonna say something about how Kirk saying this is the most painful moment he's ever faced, when we know at this point that he literally abandoned his son to be in service.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be a more painful moment.
Yeah. It depends.
But then that goes back to my argument, like, that hasn't been made yet.
Yeah, Couch.
And that's why I wasn't gonna say it.
That hasn't been made yet.
Which is fair. Kirk begins Spock's hearing. Kirk says Spock has the right to cancel. Spock not only waives the right to cancel, he waives the right to this hearing. He wants to go straight to court-martial. Kirk says no. Spock asks on what ground. Kirk says that mutiny requires 3 command officers, and they only have 2. Spock points out that Pike is still on the active duty list. Mendes says, yeah, he's got you. We didn't have the heart to retire him.
Captain's log, stardate 3012.6. General court-martial convened. Mr. Spock has again waived counsel and has entered a plea of guilty.
So we're at Spock's court-martial. Mendes says, why? What does this accomplish to go there or to take Captain Pike there? I want to know why. Spock asks if this is on the record, and Mendes is like, yeah. So Spock asks them to turn on the screen. Mendes asks why, and Spock answers, to comply with the request you just made, sir, that I explain the importance of going to Talos 4. Kirk says, by asking why, you've opened the door to any evidence he may wish to present. Mendes is like, fine, go ahead, and Scotty turns the screen on. We see the first scene in the cage, but without any audio yet. Spock tells us it was 13 years ago. Kirk orders the screen off, then asks Pike if that was real. Pike says yes. Kirk says, that's impossible, Mr. Spock. No vessel makes record tapes in that detail. That perfect. What were we watching? Spock can't tell them yet. Mendes asks Pike if these records tapes were made during their voyage. Pike says no. Mendes and Spock have this exchange. The court is not obliged to review evidence without knowing its source. Unless the court has asked a prisoner why, Commodore. You did ask that question. You mean I was maneuvered into asking? Your evidence is out of order. Kirk wants to see more. Mendes accuses Kirk of going easy on his friend, and Kirk says that has nothing to do with this. Okay, now I got some notes.
Okay.
How does Mendes have his dress uniform? They weren't planning on this. They just hopped in a shuttle. How is his uniform on the Enterprise?
I mean, later on they tell you that.
Well, yes, but like, based on what we have now, the logic that Kirk and the people have, how does he have his uniform? Unless he just borrowed one of Kirk's.
Replicated.
Maybe, but like, I don't know. Maybe he just borrowed one of Kirk's. Because I looked at like his like awards on the thing, and like they matched Kirk's exactly.
Except for they were slightly more sporadic of where they were at.
I don't know. They looked about the same.
Maybe on the old one. On the new one. I'm joking.
All right.
I noticed how half of the people in the courtroom had their dress uniforms on, and half of them didn't.
That was my next note. It's dumb that Scotty doesn't get a dress uniform.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Spock, Kirk, the Commodore, and McCoy all have dress uniforms, and no one else does.
Yeah.
Like, Scotty should have one.
Even the yeoman didn't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
Although, I wouldn't be surprised if yeomen just don't get dress uniforms.
I mean, just because
they're just a lowly yeoman.
Just because they're enlisted doesn't mean they don't get dress uniforms.
In the original series, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's because
but
she's a
Scotty
woman,
and McCoy are the same rank, so they should both have dress uniforms. And yes, it is because she's a woman. All right, my next note is, we literally saw record tapes that perfect in the last episode.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I didn't even see that episode, but listening to the episode of the podcast, I was like, yeah, they saw record tapes that perfect.
I'd argue more perfect because the quality was better. And my last note is, Mendes is full of crap. He opened with why. Spock didn't even have to maneuver him into saying that. They turn the screen back on, and Spock sets the scene. As I stated, gentlemen, this was 13 years ago. We were on routine patrol when the ship's sensors detected something ahead. At first, we were not certain what it was. We get that scene from the cage where they're on the bridge and they think they're going to get hit by something, but it's actually just an old radio signal.
Which I still think that that's stupid. How could they? How could they think that that was an asteroid?
Because there were asteroids on their view screen. There were asteroids around.
I rewatched that because I knew you were gonna say that, and all the screen was doing was flashing white, going whoa, like a wave, like. Whoa.
Because they didn't show that part in this. That was a part that was cut in the cage. They didn't actually have that asteroid line in this. It was just in the cage.
They did say asteroid in this.
Not in this one.
Pull it up on your TV right now.
I don't want to.
Because I was very intent. I was like watching that. I was like, come on now.
There were asteroids on the screen.
Nope.
Yes, there were.
Nope. Anyway.
Maybe just in the remastered. I will concede that maybe they just added asteroids in the remastered version.
Except for I
That's
only watched
possibility.
the remastered.
Then there were asteroids, David.
No, maybe in the original there were asteroids.
There were asteroids.
No.
We went through this in episode 1.
And I'm going to fight this until I die.
Okay. Pike says they're not going to go, and the rest of the crew is like, what? And Pike leaves the bridge. Then we get that scene with Pike and Boyce in Pike's quarters, where Pike is talking about resigning after his experience on Rigel 7, where a crewman died and several others were injured. He talks about going back home to his horses, or becoming an Orion slave trader. Go ahead.
So, me being me, and me making a point last time about the Orion slave trader, I watched this in this version, and they did cut some of this, and I'm going to quote word for word what the show says in this.
Okay.
I don't know the part of it, but they say Orion trader.
Yes.
Like there's an Orion space trader.
Yes.
They actually cut out the word slave.
Well, no. Like, he says Orion trader, and then Boyce says, you're going to be dealing in slaves, green animal women? So, like, Boyce says slaves.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Boyce said green animal women, but Boyce did not say slaves.
He said slaves.
They cut out slaves in this one. In the original, they do say slaves. In the cage, they say slaves. But in this one, they did not.
I'm pretty sure he said slaves, because, like, I watched this on Paramount Plus, and, like, the word slaves was still in there.
Maybe on the closed captions, but not. He did not say it.
He said it.
He did not.
He did.
No. Nope.
I'm pretty sure he did.
And, whenever I went into this episode, I was like, oh, geez, we're going to rewatch an episode that we just watched 14 episodes ago. This is going to be fun. But then thinking about it, in the 60s, no one saw that episode until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, then they were like, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Also, like, originally I was like, this is kind of our chance to redo that episode because, we weren't as good back then because, it was episode 1 and,
Right.
like, we weren't, like, as in-depth. But then as I was writing, I was like, nah, we're just going to breeze past this stuff because I'm already pretty late on these notes. Yeah. And I'm trying to do 2 episodes at once. So, yeah, if you want to hear our more in-depth opinions on that episode, go watch episode 1. If you're on Apple, for some reason, it didn't upload there, so go to Spotify or some other app.
But please be aware that was our first episode.
That was our first episode. Be understanding.
I say like our first 5 were kind of...
We were still figuring it out.
Yeah.
All right. Boyce tells him he's crazy. Back on the bridge, Garrison shows Pike the message they got from the survivors of the crash. Back to Spock's court-martial, Mendez orders the screen off and accuses Spock of making this all up. This is a court of space law, not a theater. Because apparently space law is different from real law. Like, they keep doing that. Like, last week it was like, you're an expert in space psychology. Not just psychology. All right, so Spock asks Pike if these are the actual events from 13 years ago. Pike says yes. Yes, gentlemen, on that screen, as it happened, the incredible experience of Captain Christopher Pike on Talos 4. If after witnessing this, the court wishes to turn this vessel back, I will release the ship to manual control. You're in no position to bargain. This is ridiculous. This man mutinied, stole your ship, abducted Captain Pike. Well, for me, this has gone on far enough. We still haven't heard the full story. I vote to continue. And I vote not. Deadlock. It's not a deadlock. There's still one member of the trial board to be heard from. Very well, Captain Pike, it's up to you. Do we continue under these conditions? Pike says yes, and that is the end of Act 3.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, you can't just put the word space in front of everything.
I'm a space cowboy.
Have you ever seen that movie, Space Cowboys?
No.
It's actually a good movie.
Talking about movies, I did watch a really good movie
Okay.
that you might have seen and that I'm really late on watching.
If it's new, probably not. I have a 1-year-old. I don't see much anymore.
It's not really new.
Okay,
like,
what
I'm
is it?
really late on watching it. Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that might be my favorite movie now.
It's okay.
I love it. I've watched it 3 times.
I feel like you'd enjoy the book.
I mean, okay.
Or actually, listen to the audiobook because Will Wheaton narrates it, so you'll enjoy that more.
Okay, I think I need to go.
It's a lot different than the movie, but it's big. It's very in on the nerdy stuff. For some parts, it just feels like they're listing references that you'll enjoy.
The first time I watched it was 3 days before the Apple Vision came out, and then videos of people wearing the Apple Vision in the stores and stuff, and almost getting hit. You started playing all over TikTok, and I was like, I think I just saw this in Ready Player One.
Yeah, I feel like you'll enjoy the book though. You should listen to the book.
Yeah. I mean, if Will Wheaton does it, then I'm definitely gonna do it.
Yeah, Will Wheaton narrates it.
Awesome.
My other note was they have no respect for Pike in this scene. Deadlock. No, Pike's right there. Ask him.
Yeah.
You got 3 people there.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of respect for him. And he's a fleet captain and everything.
Yeah. It's just oh, he's in a chair and can't speak. Now, he can say yes or no. Ask him questions.
That's how everybody is to handicapped people.
Yeah.
Or disabled.
Yeah.
Disabled people.
Captain's log supplemental. Mr. Spock, on trial for mutiny, has forced the court to accept unusual evidence. On our monitor screen, the voyage of Captain Pike and the Enterprise to the one forbidden world in all the galaxy.
Mendez has Scotty turn the screen back on, and we see Talos 4. We get a scene on Pike's bridge, locating where the survivors most likely are. Pike orders 6-person landing party, tells number 1 she'll have to stay on board as the most experienced officer. Cut to the transporter room, the 6 beam down onto the planet. On the surface, they find those blue singing flowers. Spock and Pike touch them. Spock has that big smile on his face. They find the camp full of survivors and make contact, but are all distracted by a beautiful woman. We see the Telosians watching all of this on a screen. Back at the camp, Vina is calling Pike a perfect specimen. One of the old guys says it's just because she spent her entire life with a bunch of old scientists. Boyce says they're all healthy. Too healthy. Vina says she'll show Pike the secret. She takes him to a rock ledge. She disappears. A couple of Telosians come out and zap him. The crew see this and they all blast the door with their lasers with no luck. Back to the court-martial, Kirk turns off the screen because Uhura has a message for Commodore Mendez that reads, Commodore Mendez, urgent. Subspace monitors show Enterprise receiving transmissions from planet Talos 4 in violation of Starfleet general orders. At this point, Kirk realizes that what they've been watching has been coming from Talos 4. Uhura continues, Captain Kirk is hereby relieved. You are ordered to assume command of the Enterprise, disable vessel, if necessary to prevent further contact. Message signed, Comsol, Starfleet Command. Mendez says, Spock, you're aware of the orders regarding any contact with Talos 4. You have deliberately invited the death penalty. You've not only finished yourself, Spock, but you finished your captain as well. The Commodore must be aware the captain knew nothing of this. You are aware that a captain is responsible for everything that occurs on his ship. I order you to return this vessel back to manual control. Sir, I respectfully decline. Very well. You've earned the consequences. This court is in recess. Everyone leaves except for Kirk, Spock, and the security guards.
Do you know what you're doing? Have you lost your mind?
Captain, Jim, please. Don't stop me. Don't let him stop me. It's your career and Captain Pike's life. You must see the rest of the transmission.
Lock him up.
Security escorts Spock out, and all we see is Kirk in an empty room and the words, "To be concluded next week." And that is the end of our episode.
That was only four things.
It's always 4 acts, David.
I thought it was 5.
It's 4 in the teaser.
Oh, okay. Wow. I thought this episode was really good.
I did too. I like the episode, like the reasons they have, the way they figured out how to show the cage, because that was basically what this was. Like, they ran out of scripts, they needed a way to use the footage from the cage because they needed an episode, so they wrote this. I also think it's kind of lazy though. Last week we went to Starbase 11 and Kirk had a court-martial. This week we go to Starbase 11 and Spock has a court-martial. It was kind of lazy.
They might not have had anything to write about this one.
Well, so what happened was they needed to use the footage from the cage because they ran out of scripts. So they had a writer write it, and Roddenberry didn't like it, so he wrote one himself. He wrote this one. And I think it's kind of lazy because it's a court-martial. Right after a court-martial, it's Starbase 11. Right after Starbase 11. They should have just given it a different number. Starbase something else. Like, why is it Starbase 11 again?
Starbase 72.
Yeah. Could have been 72.
Starbase Wharf 4.9 or
Wolf 359.
yeah. No, there's Wharf too. I don't know.
But yeah. But that's, like, I like the episode. I just feel it's kind of lazy. And that's my opinions on it.
Yeah. I think, should I go ahead and rank it and do the Bailey scale?
I don't miss this.
Yes, you do.
No, I didn't. I did not miss this.
Yes.
While you were gone, I came out with like a point by point like argument for why this is dumb. But I'm gonna let you do it because it's your podcast too.
No, I want to hear the point by point.
Not today.
Okay.
I got a wife and child hiding in a room waiting for us to get done. So let's just go ahead and rank it.
So we do need to make some merch with the Bailey scale.
I was thinking one that says "Don't be a Bailey." I think you made a design. I just need you to get that to me so I can put it on the store.
Yeah, I can make one.
Okay.
I mean, like, it's not like I actually do anything.
I'm pretty sure you made one like sometime last year. I just forgot to save it and put it on the store.
I sent you a lot of designs. I sent you a lot of random stuff, and I don't get any feedback sometimes. My couch hates it. Ah. And then I get angry, and I'm like, and then I calm down. But anyway, all right, I'm going to rank this on a scale of 1 to 10 Baileys, 1 being the best and 10 being the worst. I'm going to give this episode 2 Baileys.
Okay.
It's not the best. It's absolutely not the worst. And I'm going to rank it my 760th favorite episode.
The Bailey scale I find acceptable. The other scale is just so stupid.
Oh, anyway, you want to hear about my Starfleet career?
Okay, let's hear about your Starfleet career.
All right, so to catch everybody up, I joined Starfleet, you remember, and I became an ensign, right? And I thought I was going to be like Harry Kim and be an ensign forever. Well, I got promoted to a lieutenant commander? No.
Lieutenant junior grade?
Yes, lieutenant junior grade. Yes.
Okay.
And then, are you ready for this? I got demoted.
What did you do?
So, let's back up a little bit. I became the social media director of Starfleet International. I had that job for a week. Did not know anything. All I got was an email saying, "Hey, join this Discord." And then another email saying, "Hey, I need your information." And then the Discord said, hey, everybody's fired. So, yeah. So then I applied for another volunteer position with Starfleet that I had no clue what it was. I just applied for it. And I am now the Master Chief Petty Officer of the fleet and a Director of Enlisted Personnel. So
you don't have a rank anymore. You're just enlisted.
I do have an enlisted rank. I'm Master Chief Petty Officer.
So you're not like an actual officer, though. You're an enlisted officer.
I am the highest ranked enlisted member.
It's still a demotion, though.
It is a demotion, yes. But it was a promotion, too, because I am, like, you go, say, Starfleet's website, third name listed. Like, I have a lot of responsibilities now.
All right, join us if we do this right now, because you should be having 2 episodes. But assuming we get the other one recorded, join us right now for the Menagerie Part 2. You can find me everywhere at Couch Talks Movies. David, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Monopoly Go. And you can find me on TikTok at Commodore Moss.
You can find the show at Tomorrow Trek Pod on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and at patreon.com/tomorrowisyesterday. And don't forget to check out our stuff on the Couch Podcast Network store at couchleaders.com. It's a long story. And until next time,
live long and Vulcan neck pinches.